My name is Flavio Almeida. I am a third-degree black belt under Master Carlos Gracie Jr. I've been training Jiu Jitsu under him since the age of 13 years old, and now I'm 29. The knowledge and the wisdom that these techniques, these videos bring to you, the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu students worldwide, they were not created by us. The challenge was far above that. What we had to do is try to capture the best way possible all the knowledge that Master Carlos learned. So what we did was just to wrap all this knowledge and make sure it's available to you, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructors, and most importantly, students worldwide. It is a 16 weeks curriculum with 2 different classes per week, so it's a total of 32 classes. So once again, the theory behind the structure of each class is always trying to cover the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu self-defense strategy, dividing in 3 different phases of a fight. There's the free motion phase, where for us BJJ practitioners, our goal is to avoid the strikes and close the distance to a tight clinch. Once we are on the clinch, we want to work on an effective takedown. And once we are down on the ground, we want to work on improving the level of control over our opponents so we can get to the ultimate goal of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That is always a submission hold, either an arm bar, foot lock, a choke, or any kind of submission that you guys may learn on the curriculum. The purpose of these DVD sets, the Gracie Barra Fundamentals 2009, is to complement your training. You're probably learning these techniques from your instructor, but it's always good to have these techniques, the videos available to you. So maybe you're traveling abroad, maybe you just forgot one technique, maybe you want to practice with your friends or your brothers and sisters at home. So it's always good for you to have a different source for you to consult anytime you need that information. The curriculum is not evolving in a sense that you have to learn one class to learn the other. It's more like a puzzle. It's really up to you how you're going to put all these pieces together. Now it's interesting to note that why the name Fundamentals. And despite the fact that Jiu-Jitsu is in its core or its essence a very innovative martial arts, there is always new techniques coming up. We believe and we were taught that the fundamentals never change. So regardless of what's your belt, what's your level of experience, for how many years you've been training, if you look to the curriculum and to the techniques from the student standpoint, there is always something new for you to learn or something that you already knew but you forgot, and it's time for you to revisit and learn it again. I hope you enjoyed the techniques. I hope you enjoyed the curriculum. Good luck.
Let's study the standing rear break fall and the technical lift. Okay, so let's have here. He throws me, I break my fall. He gets close. Okay, so if you fall backwards, you should not post your elbow, you hurt your shoulder. Should not post your hand, you hurt your elbow. Should not hit your head on the ground. So the way to fall safe is, he will push me, I squat down, hands on my shoulder, chin on my chest, and I slap the mats with my arm flat, real hard. The harder I slap, the lighter my body drops. Now he's standing there. He wants to throw punches and or kicks. So I want to have him facing my legs. If he gets close to me, I fire my heels against his knees. When he steps back, it's the opportunity to sit up by posting my elbow, keep the shield high here, my eyes on him, and I post my hand. Okay, now you can fire your kick one more time. You raise your hip so it's more powerful and you have a longer reach. Just when he steps back, you prepare to stand up. Okay, so keep your eye on him and turn your belly button down. Okay, raise your hip, turn and step for balance. Then you posture up, cover, measure his distance. Okay, one more time. Arms flat. Break your fall. Keep him away from you. Now, one more thing you need to watch. Whatever leg he's stepping back, you show your shield. Because that leg there throws the strongest kick. And if he does kick, you kick at the same time. Okay, so always show your shield to that leg and to that strong punch as well. After that, kick, and then stand up. Let's study close guard from the bottom. Let's work on the scissor sweep. So, if I have someone inside my close guard, who's holding here for posture, the best timing to go for the scissor sweep is when they post one leg up. His next step would be to stand up, but before that, I will come in with the scissor sweep. Okay, 2 points for the sweep, 4 points for the mount. Okay, so if it was a self-defense situation, much safer here, much better control on the mount. Close guard, he's trying to posture up, he stands up the leg. Whenever you have close guard, you can keep that cross grip on the collar. That's really good for you. Trying to break his posture, go behind the elbow for the scissor sweep so he cannot post his hand. Okay, now you open the guard, use his leg as a post. Posting your right leg on his leg should help you escaping your hip out. You need that space in order to bring your right leg through. You see my knee went all the way through. I have my shin on his belly. Left leg on the mats, pulling him towards me. I don't want him sitting on his heels for balance. Now, as I drive with my arms, look, I arch my back and I drive. I also scissor with my legs. And now for the transition, I post, I get the mount, and I establish here. One more time. He's posting, cross grip on the collar, and behind the elbow. Look how I use his leg as a post, so I can't escape my head. After that, my leg goes through, look, until my toes touch on his upper body. The same technique can be done when he's on his knees. But now he has better balance. You need one more step. Look, same grips. You don't have his leg to use as a post. You step on the mats. Hip escape, my right leg through, left leg on the mats. I pull, but he keeps balance. I need more hip escape. I need left foot on his knee. See now, look, my left foot, I'll push his knee down. He's off balance. And I drive and I scissor. And I should be able to get the same sweep and the same good mount control. Let's study from the close guard on the bottom, the front choke. Okay? The front choke is a very technical submission. Lots of details to make it work are necessary. So, let's say your partner is here trying to posture up with both hands on your collar. That might be the hardest posture for you to break because he's posting with both hands. We will open the collar with one hand so we can feed the cross grip deep, deep, deep with 4 fingers inside the collar. Now when you pull him down, he will lock his elbows and will hold his head up. That's why you must drop your elbow heavy against his elbow. as you pull him down. But with the other hand, he is still posting. Deixa o braço duro reto aqui. See? Then you will go behind the elbow, pull his elbow out. So now, one elbow against his elbow, the other one you pull out. Last thing you need to do is with your legs, pull him into you. By the time he loses his posture, you should be fast. Hide your thumb when you do this and go underneath everything as deep as you can on the cross collar. Okay? And to finish the choke, make sure to turn your thumbs inside and make a fist. Make a fist and point his elbows to the mats now. One more time. You will practice that with your partner posting both hands on your chest. You will need to feed your hand the first grip as deep as you can with 4 fingers. Now, drop your elbow against his elbow. With the other hand, you pull his elbow out. And with your legs, you pull him in. If he loses his posture, even if it's just a little bit, you have a good opportunity to hide your thumb and go as a knife. Fast, underneath your first grip, and deep. Get both hands as deep as you can. Rotate your thumbs in, your wrist in, make a fist. Drive your elbows to the mats. Close your elbows. Keep your elbows tight to your ribs. And you should have a powerful choke here. We will study now the safe stance, the safe clinch, and the hip throw. Okay, so. So the safe stance is the technique we use whenever someone approaches us and we are not sure what his intentions are. He might be getting ready to throw a punch or to throw a kick. So instead of standing here and squaring up with him, being a big target, what I will do is I don't need to look him in the eyes and just get in the situation to become more aggressive. So I can actually look him in the chest, and by doing that, I am already protecting my jaw here. I will make a little step back and turn on my side. This way, I kind of protect my groin area, and I raise my hands just as if I was talking, but actually I am kind of protecting my plexus, and I am one step away from covering just in case he throws a punch or something. So I am already in a much better position than he is. Okay? If I feel like I need to defend myself, I can anytime control his wrist, step in. That's why as I tuck my chin down, turn on my side, and raise my hands, I bring my weight to the balls of my feet here, to my toes. This way I can sprint forward. Okay, so I am on the safe stance. From here, when I sprint forward, I want to make sure I control his wrist so he will not throw the punch. At the other side, I am covering my face. As I step him, again, I let this shield go and I'll control his hip. Okay, so that position here, when I stand sideways with him, pull his hip inside, keep my head on his chest, control his wrist against his body, we call this safe stance. Okay, safe stance because here, he cannot throw headbutts because my head is on the chest. He cannot throw punches because I am controlling his arm. No knee strikes or kicks because I am controlling his hip. From here, I'll bring him to the ground by using the hip throw. So just one step, my toes will point to the direction I want to flip him, and then just for 1 second, I'll let my head go, and I'll step inside. I'll make a catch with my hip underneath his belt level. Then I bump him up. Ideally, his weight should be on my hips, so he's not heavy at all here. Controlling the wrist, controlling his hip. I'll rotate my upper body, and I'll have him on the ground. Okay, now we will control him on the ground using the knee in the belly. It's actually my shin on his belly. That leg should stand for balance. I should keep a good posture, hips forward. So this way, there's a lot of weight on top of him. This hand controlling the neck. If you make his back flat on the mats, it should be very hard for him to escape. You can push this hand away against his chest and control the neck. If he fires any punches with that hand there, you can just lean to the side and you should be fine here. One more time from the beginning. So someone approaches you, you're not sure if he will throw punch or kick, he's just talking in an aggressive way. You don't need to look him in the eye and square up here being a big target. On your side, hands up, chin down, and you talk from here. If you feel like you need the clinch to control the situation, the weight's already on your toes, so you can quickly sprint forward, controlling the punch, controlling the hip real quick. Make sure to have your head on the chest, pull his hip inside. Note that when we are practicing self-defense, we don't make grips on the uniform. I'm controlling his arm. 1, 2, feet parallel. The catch is with your hip. The opposite is trying to make the catch with your leg. That doesn't help. It's your hip underneath his belt level and you bump him up. Now you rotate your upper body. Note that I will look over my left shoulder and then throw. Posture up. This way I'm just helping my partner to break his fall. Knee in the belly, pushing the hand against his chest and my grip on his neck. If you want to add more weight on top of him, just take your toes off the mats and keep your balance with that leg here. Let's work on how to pull guard from standing up. Anda pra cá. Okay. So when we start sparring here from standing up, the most common grip is strong grip on the collar. Most times your partner does the same. The other grip behind the elbow, most times he does the same. That's the regular grip when sparring standing up. Okay. Here I have two options. One is attempting for a takedown. If it's a competition, I would score 2 points. The second option is pulling guard. I don't lose any points by doing that, and I might have a plan to sweep and or submit him. Okay, so the same side you're controlling his elbow, you will want to step on his hip. Okay, so as your foot go up, your hips should be going down and you will land on your side. Watch. On your side. Anda pra lá. You will not square up. As he drives weight forward, you'll have to muscle a lot with that leg. Your heel might slip out. When you escape your hip, you lock your leg in a position that gives you a lot of leverage to keep pushing his hip away, and that's what you want. Keep your grips. Your grips are pulling. You want a hem without posture. You don't want a hem to be able to arch his back. Okay? Anda pra lá agora. The other leg is circling inside, ready to push his biceps. Once you have that position, you're safe, and you can easily work on your transition to the close guard, where you should be even safer and you should have much more options for attacks. Watch. Now I just cross my feet behind his back and I have him in close guard. Once in close guard, you will want 4 fingers inside the cross collar as deep as you can and pulling him down. One more time. When you're preparing to spar from standing up, keep your feet parallel. Don't reach too much. Walk close, and then you reach to the collar. Keep your forehead aiming to his forehead here, blocking lots of his attacks. Okay, you don't want to lean to the sides or posture too much. Right here. And then he will grab your collar, you grab his elbow. The reason why you want to step at the same side you're controlling the elbow is just because, watch. If I use the other leg, this hand is free. He might push my leg away, and he can do a knee in the belly, just like he's doing. If it was a competition, he would be scoring 2 points now for knee in the belly. Okay? If it was a self-defense situation, I would be in a bad position. So, it is much safer to go at the same side you're controlling the elbow. Open guard, escaping my hip, pushing his biceps away. The transition to close guard is my foot underneath the armpit, then I start bending my leg that is on the hip and I pull him inside. When I climb his back, I let my foot on the hip go and I lock my feet. Most times he will drop on his knees. Immediately, you want to reach, cross grip on the collar as deep as you can and start pulling him down. You will learn later that sets up lots of your attacks. Let's study on the close guard from the bottom, the sit-up sweep, and the Kimura submission. Okay? Bota as duas mãos aqui. That's the sit-up sweep. That makes a very good combo with the Kimura submission. Põe a mão aqui. Deixa eu pegar pouco. For that sweep to work best, you will go whenever someone is controlling your chest with one hand only, okay? You will get that a lot because with the other hand, they want a lot of times to use their elbows against your leg, their hands against your hip. You will also use that sweep whenever they sit on their heels. That's when they're losing the balance backwards, okay? From here we go. I open my guard, feet down. I raise my hands to get more momentum. Then as I go, I pulse my elbow. I pulse my hand and I have chest to chest. These arms go over the shoulder. I kind of make a lock with my elbow on his shoulder and I aim for his triceps. Okay? My right foot is posting on the mats real hard, so when I push with my right foot, I can bump forward with my hip. My left leg is just bending this way. Okay, then you look to the side, bump, bump. He cannot pulse because I am controlling the triceps. I got a real good control this time and I am pulling that inside also. Then I turn, and I work on my transition to the mount position. Okay, once on the mount position, you can push your hands here for balance, raise your knees close to his armpit. One more time. Once you learn well the sit-up sweep, you will use that a lot in a combination with the Kimura submission. The reason why is because a lot of times when you go for the sit-up sweep, he is faster than you and he posts the hand. So you don't really get to control the triceps and the arm. So even if you bump with your hips, he can always post and he never gets to fall to the bottom and you don't accomplish the mount position. Okay? That's the perfect angle for you to go for the Kimura submission. Let go the triceps and rook his arm. Okay? Your hand that is posting on the mats, you will let it go and immediately you will control his wrist. Watch. You fall on your shoulder, that's fine. That's helpful. And just then, once you have the grip on the wrist, you will, with the other hand, control your own wrist. It's even better if you remind yourself to have your thumb over. Okay, you will not hold this way, but this way. Okay, once you do this, you lock your elbows. Try not to muscle with your hands, bring your whole body into the submission. So now your legs and your hips will be working a lot. Note that my left leg is pushing down. That's when my hip is able to slide to the left. Just then, I turn my upper body to him. So my whole body is working into the submission. I'm not muscling with my hands. Once I have that good position, I will use my arms and my hands to push his arm. And the submission should hurt right behind his shoulder. One last and very important detail. You will bend your leg on his back. That prevents him from rolling forward and escaping from your submission. Okay, one more time. He has one hand forward, he's sitting on his heels, perfect momentum to go for the sit-up sweep. I will quickly get chest to chest, but he was faster. He got to post his hand. That's okay, I'll not keep pushing for the sweep. One arm in, controlling his wrist. Just then, I hold my own wrist. I lock my elbows tight against my own ribs. By using my left leg pushing down, I help myself escaping my hips to the left and turning my upper body towards him. Last and very important, bend your legs on his back. Don't give him the opportunity to roll forward and escape. And finish. You want to push his hand towards his head. Let's study now the front choke escape and the ready stance. Okay? We will use that technique to escape whenever someone comes in and grabs our neck. Okay, so feet parallel, good stance here so you can react. Shrug your shoulders and tuck your chin down. You see, by doing that, you'll make it possible for him to keep holding. The reason why is because, look, just like when someone controls your wrist, if you try to pull down against the fingers, he's way stronger than when you pull up against the thumb. So the same principle you will apply against the choke. Watch, the thumb is here. So if you have the opportunity to shrug your shoulders and tuck your chin down, he should not be able to keep the grip. Your next concern is that he will try knee strikes when you bend down. Watch. That's why you must cross your forearms like a shield. So, you should be okay here. After that, you will step back, your head will follow, you will circle your head out, and you will prepare your ready stance. Watch. I step back, my head will follow, and then I posture up, and I'll have my ready stance here. Okay, so on your ready stance, you turn on your side, you cover your jaw, you cover your ribs. With the front hand, you cover, but most times you measure his distance. You see my partner, he's mimicking the punch. Just so I start learning the distance he needs to be able to apply the punch. Okay, so the striker wants to stand here. The Jiu Jitsu fighter wants to step back, posture up, and keep his strikes away. So if my partner steps forward, I should learn how to walk on my ready stance. If he steps back, I should learn how to walk with my ready stance. That will make the whole drill. So if you move back, you step with your back leg first. If you move forward, you step with your front leg first. Okay? To learn how to adjust your ready stance, watch. When you have feet parallel, you pick your strong leg, half step to the side, and half step back. Okay? Here you should stay. Every time you move, you adjust. One more time, the whole drill. Your partner steps in with the choke, you shrug your shoulders, step back, move out from the choke, ready stance, but measure the distance. Your partner will move forward, you step back. He moves back, you step forward. This way you learn how to walk on your ready stance, and you start understanding the distance one needs to throw a punch or to throw a kick against you. Let's study the close guard from the bottom. We'll be working on an arm lock submission. Okay, so close guard. Let's say now you have close guard and the person on top is posting, grabbing both collars, posting on your chest. He may be doing that because you have the cross grip on the collar, you're pulling him down. So to keep his head up, he decided to post both hands on your chest. Good opportunity for the arm lock, okay? Have my grip behind the elbow. I'm trying to break his posture. When I decide to attack the arm lock, I will move from the elbow to the wrist, but over the wrist, pulling his arm up. The other grip will go from the collar to behind his triceps. He will try to open his elbow. I will arch my back, hip up, and when I drop my hip, I will pull his elbow inside using my hand that is on the triceps. At the same time, I step on his hip and I close my knee, tight on his body. Okay? This foot will help me escaping my hip outside. As soon as I am escaping my hip outside, I'm raising the other leg and bending my leg heavy on his back. Okay? From the beginning, when he sees this, most times he wants to drive weight forward. That's why my grip goes from the wrist to the shoulder. And I hold the gi and place my forearm on the way of his neck. So if he drives forward, my forearm should stop him. That will give him enough space to step over the head. Once here, don't create the habit of crossing your feet. You should bend your leg heavy on his neck and bend your leg heavy on his back. Now, both hands on the wrist, lock your knees, and arch your back. One more time from the beginning. You're trying to break his posture. That's why he decided to post on your chest. Prepare your grips for the submission. 1, 2. Don't wait too long here. Arch your back, hip up. When you drop your hips, all at once, pull the elbow, step on the hip. Don't wait too long here. Skip your hip and climb his back. Okay? Most times, they will not wait for you to step over the head. See, he's driving forward. That's why I must grab on the shoulder and have my forearm on the way of his neck here. That gives me enough room to step over. Grips on the wrist, knees together, bending my legs heavy, and then I arch my back. Let's study close guard from the bottom, and let's work on the triangle submission. Okay? The triangle submission from close guard will work best when you have one arm posting on your chest, so you have the opportunity to lock this arm with your legs, and the other one, maybe here, his hand is working against your hip, his elbow is working against your leg, and you will take the opportunity to push his wrist against his own body. Okay, so he's already bringing his arm close to his body. You will just help him. You go on the wrist, push him. The other grip is pulling the elbow even more inside your guard. Then you open your legs. You have to be quick here, okay? You want to lock your legs high on his shoulder. So his wrist will stay outside your close guard. You see, you just want this arm inside your close guard now. If you accomplish that lock with your feet, now you will climb little by little for the triangle choke, okay? Very strong submission from close guard. My first goal here is to cross his arm. See, he's posting his arm to keep his head up. So I'll go here, close to his grips. I'll fight his grips. I can even raise my hips. When I drop, I break his grip and push his arm away. That's one. Step 2, I need to move my hip to the outside. You see, my legs are not long enough to lock the triangle from here. So I need to step on his hip, move my hip to the outside. And also, I need to bend my leg in the back of his neck. Now I brought him down. I can make sure he stays here by holding to my own leg. And then the triangle lock will come. Watch. The higher I can lock with my left foot behind my right leg, the better. Anda pra lá. Hips outside, holding onto my own leg, locking the triangle. Less detail, elbow over the wrist. That will block a lot of his escapes, because now he cannot use this hand on my neck or on my chest. Okay, and to finish that submission, you need a few details. Watch, once your legs are in a good position, you need to squeeze your knees and bring him into you with your legs. Okay, don't try pushing him away with your hip. It does not work as good as if you pull him in, lock your knees, and also pull his head down. One more time on the triangle choke. He is already posting on my chest. The other hand is already on my hip. So I'll just quickly, at the same time, push his arm against his own body and pull his elbow. Also at the same time, I open my guard. I kind of bump my hips up, and I cross my leg over his shoulders. Okay, quickly fight his grip, push his arm across, move your hip to the outside, hold on to your own leg if you want, lock, a tight triangle here, squeeze your knees, have your elbow over the wrist, grips on the head, pull him into you, and you should get a powerful choke from there. Let's study now the front choke with the push plus the headlock takedown. Okay? We will use that technique whenever someone comes in with the front choke. But the push is happening here with his thumb. So I don't have an opportunity to tuck my chin down. I have to deal with that. Okay, so good balance, feet parallel. At the same time, I will reach for his elbow, slide my arm in between his arms, and make a cross step here. All at once. So you're here, good balance, and then you make one. Okay? Right after that, you keep reaching for the headlock, continue pulling his elbow and turning on your side, and pull him real close to you. Okay, so headlock, grips on the arm, and now watch your steps. My right foot's not flat. That allows me to pivot on it, and I bring my left foot in. Just then I turn. Watch, my feet parallel, my heels are pointing outside a little bit, just because I want my hips, half of my hips to the outside. My hips underneath his belt level. Okay, and to better finish this throw, look over your shoulder and rotate your upper body. The opposite is looking down. You limit your motion. Okay, so watch. I look over my shoulder. That gives me a powerful takedown. I'm pulling his arm up to help my partner breaking his fall. Okay? Right after that, it's me in the belly. Actually, my shin on his belly to control my leg up. For balance, good posture, pushing my hips forward, that puts more weight on him. Controlling his neck, so his back is flat on the mats, making it very hard for him to escape. You will find that many times people will reach to your neck. It could be also a punch, okay? So all you need to do, the arm is already here. You just control the wrist, and you will quickly step over. You need two things to make sure they don't escape from that attack. One is, as you go, you will bring your foot from here to here. Two, you will keep your hip against his triceps, not over the elbow on the forearm. So watch. Really hard for him to escape. I'm locking my knees. His elbow joint is trapped in between my legs, and just then I go to the wrist. That leg here will be sometimes pulling him in, sometimes heavy on his neck. It will change depending on what he's trying to do. Okay? Most times you can pull in and lock your knees. Legs together, pull the wrist down. Submission is right on the elbow joint, so make sure to have his thumb pointing up. If it points down, the submission will not be as tight. Okay, one more time. The choke comes, there's a push, balance. As you go for the throw, make sure not to fight against this arm. He might be super strong here. No problem, you slide in between as you turn on your side. He might be heavy, no problem. Learn how to place your hips. You see, I barely feel his weight here. He's not on my back, he's on my hips. And then make sure to rotate your upper body. That gives you more motion and a powerful throw. Knee on the belly. You can keep your toes on the mats just to relieve a little bit of the weight on your partner. Controlling the neck, If he reaches, that's fine. Control the wrist. My right toes are behind the shoulder. My hip is close to his triceps. Makes it very hard for him to escape. Legs together, thumb up. Let's turn this way here. I want to share with you guys one more detail. Note that when I fell back, I am falling towards his leg. You will be helping him to escape if you fall too high, higher than his head. So you fall towards the leg, legs together, and work on the submission. Let's study close guard from the bottom, and we'll work on the pulling the feet sweep, okay? That works best when your partner stands up. You will have close guard, and let's say your partner's grabbing both collars. He could be using whatever grip, okay, but this time he chose to stand up. He's hoping that from that position he will open your guard. If he gives you the opportunity to reach for his heels, that's all you need, okay? Once you have this, you should be able to close your knees. Your knees will touch each other right in front of his belly, okay? And the power on that sweep will come from your hips. You arch your back and you push your hip up. Watch. He falls back. You need to be quick. You don't want him to stand up. So you post. As you post, you can even keep a control on his foot. And now you move your hips to the side over that leg. Watch. At that point, you release your grip also. When you move your hips to the side, your foot should be able to go close to his belt. That allows you to make a quick transition to the mount. Once on the mount, my knees are high, squeezing a little bit his upper body. I'm posting my hands for balance. So he will stand up. He gave me the opportunity to control his heels. I can anytime close my knees. You see, I have to open my guard in order to close my knees. Don't drop your hips too much, okay? Because your next step is raising the hip, arching your back and pushing. I'm pushing with my knees. And that detail here is very important. When I sit up, I post my elbow controlling the foot. If I forget to move my hips to the side, you see very often people trying to push him out. You see, now he's about to stand up. Stand up. I was not able to get the top position like I wanted. So here's the way to work on a quick transition. You post, but you move your hip to the side. Post your hand and move your hip to the side. The problem on that transition is when you find your legs like that. Takes you forever to reach the mount position. Here, bend your leg, have your foot on the belt. That's very helpful. Keep posting. And you have the mount. That should also prevent you from leaving your heels behind someone's back and they fall on your foot and you hurt your foot. Let's study close guard from the bottom. We will work on the arm lock submission whenever someone stands up on your close guard. Okay? Okay. The first thing you need to accomplish is to break his posture. Whenever he bends forward, there's the opportunity for you to go to the arm lock. Watch. He's holding, he stands up. If he arches his back, that will be hard to accomplish that submission. But if you control both elbows, pull it out and pull it in, and you also climb his back with your guard, you're one step away from the submission. From that point, all you need is one grip over the wrist, holding the uniform and pulling his wrist up. The other one, you don't even use your hand. It's just a hook behind the heel. That should be enough to help you turn your upper body. Okay? I want to pull my head close to his foot. And then I go for the submission. One more time, watch. He stood up. He had good posture at first. That's why I had to work to break his posture and climb his back. That gave me the opportunity to control the wrist, hook the heel. And now the next step is very important. Right after I pull my head close to the leg, I will have to let my close guard go. The reason why my hips are not dropping down is because my right leg is still bent on his back. See? The opposite would be to relax my leg, trying the submission from here. I don't have it. He will pull the arm out. And then I would have to play open guard. Okay, so one more time. He will stand up. You will pull his elbows out and in. You will climb his back, control the wrist, and hook the leg. Pull yourself close to his leg. And then, when it's time to go, use your leg to hang onto his back. See? Easily, you should be able to step over. Bend your legs, knees together, hold the wrist and arch your back. For the submission. Let's study the punch dodge, the body lock clinch, and the body lock takedown. Okay? So. Okay, for that drill, I will have my partner mimicking the punch. I'm just keeping it simple, so I don't need to worry about his stance yet. I'll prepare my ready stance, half step to the side and half step back with my strong leg. I want to keep my strong leg and my strong punch behind, okay? So I turn my upper body on my side a little bit, I tuck my chin, I'm covering my chin, my ribs. That hand is covering, but a lot of times it's measuring distance. The strikers want to play from here. The Jiu Jitsu practitioners want to step back, posture up, and measure, so I can set up better my clinch, okay? Let's go. The punch dodge. I will have to pick a side and make a step. That's taking me out from his punch. I keep my eye on him as I drop, and I cover. See, when I cover this time, it's not on my chin, but I raise my hand a little bit as a shield, and I keep my eye on him. Then I step in. Just then, I grab the body lock takedown. One more time. Ready stance, measure distance, little step to the side and squat down. You see, I am covering, I keep my eye on him, then I step inside. Head up, and I reach for the body lock clinch. Okay? What if I want to go to the other side? Whatever side you pick to go, you will step with the leg that is on the same side. Ready stance. I want to go to my right. I step with my right leg. Now that I made the step, all my weight is here. I must step in with the other leg. So watch. Step to the side, cover. See, I'm switching my hand that is covering. That's because the other leg is stepping in. Now you can practice both sides. He's mimicking the punch. I am on my ready stance. I am measuring distance. If I go to the left step, left leg will make this step. All my weight is here. I must work with the other leg. What if I want to go to my right? Measuring distance. I step with my right leg. The right leg is already holding my body, my weight. I must step in with the other leg. There is a reason why we do that. You get more balance, you get more power on the takedown, you're safer stepping in for your clinch. Okay? Once here, very important, you will not work on takedowns that your head might hit the ground. So once you have his hip, you will always walk to the other side of your head. Let's keep it like that for now. Later on, you can learn more advanced takedowns that will allow you to go both directions. Okay, once here, his body works as caution if I throw him. Okay? Let's just talk about the body lock clinch and the body lock takedown now. Once you were able to avoid the strike and step in for the body lock takedown, watch. Keep your head high. Okay, you want to keep your ear on his chest. If you look down and keep your head to the outside, he might grab your neck on the guillotine choke. Okay, so keep your back straight, head on the proper spot. Then you go for the hip. You can lock your fingers together, elbows down, and then you pull his hip to the inside. Remember to move to the opposite side of your head. So after you throw him down, you use his body as caution. Okay, and very important, after you finish your takedown, don't land on your partner's chest. You will want to step back and post your hands down. Okay, so you throw, step back and post. Okay, after that, you can continue chest to chest on the side mount control. Hug the shoulder and block the legs. On the side mount control, have your knees off the mats. This way you make yourself heavier. Aim to have chest to chest. So you use your body weight, you don't muscle too much with your hands. Elbow close to his head. Go underneath his back, make a grip, hook on the shoulder. That hand here, for now, will be on the mats, just blocking his legs from recovering the guard. Okay? So, everything together. Your partner will mimic the punch. You will prepare your ready stance, strong leg, half step to the side, half step back, you turn your upper body, cover, but measure distance. Make sure to stay away from the striker reach. If you're here, you are on his reach. Okay, so here, you should be okay. Dodge the punch, little step to the side, cover, the other leg shoots in. Then you step outside his leg to the opposite side of your head so you don't hit your head on the ground. Block his knee with your knee and drive. Step back, post, establish the side mount control, knees off the ground, block the legs and chest to chest. Let's study how to posture up inside the close guard and open the close guard. This time we will do this on our knees. Okay, so first thing you need to earn your posture. Segura na cabeça. Okay, let's break down the technique. On that drill, my partner will pull my head down. That will teach me that if I try to arch my back fighting against his grips, I will never get to posture up. I need to slide my head underneath his hands and then posture up. To do so, I also move back my knee. Okay, so my partner grabs my head. With my hands, I'll come inside, hold both collars, push up. Now I move my knee and follow with my head. If he tries to grab my head again, I will posture up, hips forward. He should not be able to reach. Ideally, you will always try to have your head up and chest forward inside close guard. Okay, from here we go. Pick your strong hand, control both collars with one hand. You quickly get the other hand on his pants, punching his hip down, and your elbow pushing his knee out. Okay, but if you try to break the guard from here, you'll be just muscling with your elbow. You want to bring your whole body to helping you breaking the guard. So you will need to work with your legs. If I have this hand on the chest, at the same side, my knee comes underneath his hip, and I move the other leg back. So I have balance. What it does is that now I have both grips in place, my knees in place, and what it does is that my hip is making a lot of pressure on his feet. It's not my elbow only trying to break the guard. No, it's my hand keeping his hip there, the other hand pushing him away, my elbow pushing his knee down, but because my left knee keeps his hip there, as I slide the other one back, watch, my hip creates a lot of pressure on his feet. So, grips, elbow, knees, and hips, everything fighting his legs. Once here, you need to quickly shrink your elbows. This one here is fine. The other one, you need to be fast. Grab one, collar only, and shrink. See my elbows touching my leg. That's what I want. This way I am avoiding any submission attempts he may do against my arm. So everything together now, watch. That's how the drill will go. Your partner will grab your head, get underneath, control both collars. Slide your knee back and your head will follow. Now he'll try to grab your head again. You will posture up. A strong hand controlling both collars. The other hand on the pants, elbow in. Immediately, if I have this hand on the chest, the same side my knee goes underneath the hip. The other knee is far back for balance. And also to allow my hip to put pressure on his feet. I keep pushing him away, sit back. I did break the guard as soon as I can. One collar only, and then I'll shrink my elbows. Let's study how to pass the open guard on our knees and one arm under the leg, okay? Let's say you have one collar, you're hiding your elbow, you're touching your knee, the other grip is on the pants, you're hiding your elbow also. You can actually go either sides now. It's your choice. Let's say I pick to go this way. Baixa o cotovelo. Baixa esse cotovelo aqui. Okay, now let's break down that guard pass. You start with your grips here. I'll pick this side to go. My arm goes underneath the leg. Very important. You don't want to drive with your arm. He might fight back. Abaixa a perna um pouquinho. His leg can be heavy and strong. So just make a hook and move yourself underneath the leg. You see, you should be able to slide your shoulder underneath his leg. Make sure to keep the other elbow in. Now you drive with your weight forward. You can even pulse your leg. I'm pulsing my leg so I can drive more weight on him. Head up and chest forward. When I am that close, I start reaching with my thumb deep on his collar. If you want, you can take your knees completely off the mats. And now you circle. Slowly. Don't push his leg away. Just raise your head, the leg will pop out. And you should have chest to chest right away. Your knees should be off the mats, heavy on him. Elbow close to the head, hook on the shoulder, grip on the back. The other hand blocking the knees. Make sure to block the knees, because if you don't, he might slide underneath and lock you again on his legs. So, one more time. We are studying the open guard. We will do it. Having the grip on the collar, the other one on the pants. From here we go. Pick a side. I'll pick this side. Hook, shoulder under, pulsing my leg and driving forward. Just then I reach, thumb deep. I can even take my knees off the mats, circle and raise my head, the leg pops out, chest to chest. Hook on the shoulder and blocking the leg. If you accomplish that in competition, you score 3 points. Okay, if you are in a self-defense situation, you have a good and dominant position. Let's study the standing headlock escape with the rear takedown and finishing with the arm lock submission. Okay? Okay. If someone holds your neck with the headlock, the first thing you should avoid is to look to his grips and arms. Now when he squeezes, he has the choke. You should look to him. By doing that, you kind of protect your arteries, and then you should have enough time to work on your escape. Okay, that's first. Second is good balance here. And then start using your hands right away. One grip on the hip, pulling him back. The other grip is pushing his knee. Okay, no way. That gets him off balance, you see? You do your best to extend this arm. You go heavy on his calves. That together with my back step, I'll make a back step, circling, kind of circling, with my right leg. Okay, watch. This final step should give him a very good takedown. Here, I need to really look for that attempt he will make. Look, he wants to turn and throw me this way. That's why I must post and keep a good balance. If he tries to turn, I should be able to post with no problem. Once here, I will start thinking about how to escape my neck. Okay? Step number 1 is going for the technical mount. That's how we call the next position here. That's a technical mount. When you have the mount with this leg up. To accomplish that, watch. You see, I brought my right knee close to his head before I made that step. Okay? Once the step was done, my left foot's replacing the balance I need with my left hand, so my hands are free to help me on the escape. I will not try to muscle against his grips. He might be stronger than my neck. I'll just bring the knife of my forearm right underneath his ear. Close my hand. The other grip comes in between his arms and hold on to my own wrist. When I lean forward, plus a little push with my hands, the pressure is too much right here. It's my whole body weight and the blade of my forearm right there. I'll just take my time, and I am sure he will release his grip. Now it's setting up the submission. I post, that's making sure he will not escape, and I hold his wrist with my hand and my head. That's making sure he will not move his arm out of here. Then I will step over. Just after a heavy step, I take my right hand off. He has no chances to escape. Knees together, controlling the wrist, and I slowly arch my back and raise my hip. Let's just make sure the thumb is pointing up because the submission is on his elbow joint. If the thumb is down, that's loose. Okay, one more time. Let's put everything together. My partner will grab the headlock, look into him, grips. Watch my step. And I post my hands immediately. My right knee is close to the head. That allows me to step over, my knee pointing to the ceiling, technical mount. The blade of my forearm, plus my grip, all my body weight leaning forward. Right hand on the mat, trapping him. My left hand on the wrist, my head trapping his wrist also. I should be able to post, stand up, step, taking my right hand off, knees together. I have the submission. No matter how strong he is, from that point on, I'll just slowly submit, raising my hip. I should have it. Let's study how to break the guard standing up and also how to earn our safe posture. Okay? So the drill will start with my partner controlling my head so I learn how to posture up. Okay? Okay? The first step is placing my grips, sliding my knee back and following with my head to posture up. Watch. Grips, one on each collar. Moving my knee back and then following with my head underneath his arms. He will try to grab my head again. I push his chest. When I square up with him, I drive my hip forward. He should not be able to grab my head at that point. I will stand up right away once I feel that my grips are in place. One leg up, chest forward, head up. A little detail here, and very important, can post your toes. Watch my right toes. That should help me now, opening my knee. And then I can step in with my feet parallel. When you get here, pull him underneath yourself and lock your elbows on your knees. Right here, I have a very good and strong stance. I can prepare for the next step. Next step is posturing up even more. So I must slide my hands on his collars, and I will keep one hand only. This elbow must be tight here, avoiding any submissions attempts. Good posture. From here, I will break the guard. Little step back, so I can reach behind my back. Okay, watch. Little step back, so I can reach. Not with my hand, but making a hook and breaking with my forearm. Right after you break, you want to control his leg above the knee. So this arm is pushing his leg away. He cannot do much with this leg. This hand is pulling his leg close. That's a good position to prepare to pass his guard. One more time. My partner is trying to break my posture. I try to hold his collars right away if I can. I'll slide back my knee and escape my head underneath. At the same time, I push up his collars. He's trying to grab my head again. As he's trying, I posture up, hips forward, and I am controlling his chest. From here, let's stand up one leg at a time. One, toes. That really helps. Open your knee, then you step in, lock your elbows. That's very important. Two things they might try here: to grab your heels, lock their knees and push. You pull, squat down, keep your posture. He will lock the guard. Something else is when you posture a little more, release one grip. If you don't lock your elbows real tight here, they might try the triangle as you were reaching. I'm in trouble now. From that point, he could lock a tight choke. So, heads up, chest forward the entire time. When you step back with your head up, you break with the hook, control the leg, push the other one away, and you stop right here. Okay, let's study how to pass the open guard standing up with one arm under. Okay, so we will start controlling one collar. Your elbow will be touching your knee, and we will start one arm under and pulling his leg in. From here we will go. Okay? The first step will be placing the grips, one hand on the collar, the other one underneath the leg. Second step is making sure you don't try reaching the collar right away or fighting against his leg. If he fights back, his leg might be too strong. Move yourself underneath the leg, bend your arm, and try having your shoulder underneath his leg. I will do this by dropping my knee down, posturing up, circling, bringing my shoulder under. Now I start driving forward. Note that I have my left leg up, driving my weight forward. Protecting my left elbow, driving the weight forward. Just then, I will reach my thumb as deep as I can on his collar. And I keep driving my weight forward. If I want, I can even take my knees off the mat and circle and raise my head and chest forward, just waiting for his leg to pop out so I can have chest to chest right away. Once chest to chest, my knees are off the mat, elbow close to the head, grip underneath the back. That should make a hook on his shoulder. The other hand, I'll post on the mat, making sure he cannot slide his left knee underneath my body to recover his guard. So one more time. We can start standing up. Then you will place your grips. One on the collar, elbow tight. The other one underneath the leg, pulling the leg into you. Do your best to move yourself closer to that one leg you're aiming to have your shoulder underneath. Then you keep driving weight forward, head up, chest forward. Make sure to lock that elbow. Thumb deep, deep underneath his collar. If you want, knees off the mats, you're even heavier. Circle, head up, chest forward, the leg should pop out. Chest to chest. Controlling the shoulder. And blocking the knees. This way you establish a solid side mount control. Let's study the standing headlock with punch escape. Okay? Okay, if someone grabs your neck on the headlock, you should always try to posture up. You can really gain power and leverage here by focusing on driving your hips forward instead of focusing, raising your head and arching your back. It's on your hips. Okay, now if he tries to pull down, he should find a lot of resistance here because of my hips forward. That's when he comes with the punch. Then I block. When blocking the punch, you should not block on the hand that might pass through and hit you. You aim your forearm on his forearm. That's enough to stop the punch. So punch. When he tries to punch again, you control his arm. You have two options. One is controlling on the forearm. The second one is around and pulling on the biceps. I like going inside. And to make sure I keep both of my hands there until I make sure I have a good lock, pulling his arm against his body. He might be very strong and he keeps holding. So I cannot simply push his arm away. I also don't want to fight my arm against his arm. He might be very strong. So I glue his wrist on my chest. And as I step back and raise my head, it's my whole body fighting his arm. Just now, I'll step back with my right foot and clear my head off. I have a lot of room at this point, and I did not fight my arm against his arm. Right here, you keep the wrist, you release the other arm, and wrap his neck. As you're putting pressure on his neck, you start pulling his wrist up. If you need more pressure, you separate his wrist from his back. He should tap. One more time. Let's say this time you were not able to keep your posture. He did break your posture. No problem. Same escape from here. He will punch. Forearm on his forearm. He tries to punch again. You block. Pull his arm against his own body. Glue his wrist on your chest. That's very important. Don't try to fight your arm against his arm. You never know how strong he can be. Step back, head up. Watch how much room I have to clear my head off. It will be one more step with my right leg. Release his arm, but keep his wrist here. Wrap his neck. Kind of break his posture back if you want. And then you pull up his wrist. Let's study how to posture up inside the close guard and open the close guard. This time we will do this on our knees. Okay, so first thing you need to earn your posture. Segura na cabeça. Okay, let's break down the technique. On that drill, my partner will pull my head down. That will teach me that if I try to arch my back fighting against his grips, I will never get to posture up. I need to slide my head underneath his hands and then posture up. To do so, I also move back my knee. Okay, so my partner grabs my head. With my hands, I'll come inside, hold both collars, push up. Now I move my knee and follow with my head. If he tries to grab my head again, I will posture up, hips forward. He should not be able to reach. Ideally, you will always try to have your head up and chest forward inside close guard. Okay, from here we go. Pick your strong hand, control both collars with one hand. You quickly get the other hand on his pants punching his hip down and your elbow pushing his knee out. Okay? But if you try to break the guard from here, you'll be just muscling with your elbow. You want to bring your whole body to helping you breaking the guard. So you will need to work with your legs. If I have this hand on the chest, at the same side, my knee comes underneath his hip, and I move the other leg back. So I have balance. What it does is that now I have both grips in place, my knees in place, and what it does is that my hip is making a lot of pressure on his feet. It's not my elbow only trying to break the guard. No, it's my hand keeping his hip there, the other hand pushing him away, my elbow pushing his knee down, but because my left knee keeps his hip there, as I slide the other one back, watch, my hip creates a lot of pressure on his feet. So, grips, elbow, knees, and hips, everything fighting his legs. Once here, you need to quickly shrink your elbows. This one here is fine. The other one, you need to be fast. Grab one, collar only, and shrink. See my elbows touching my leg? That's what I want. This way I am avoiding any submission attempts he may do against my arm. So everything together now, watch. That's how the drill will go. Your partner will grab your head, get underneath, control both collars. Slide your knee back and your head will follow. Now he'll try to grab your head again. You will posture up. A strong hand controlling both collars. The other hand on the pants, elbow in. Immediately, if I have this hand on the chest, the same side my knee goes underneath the hip. The other knee is far back for balance. And also to allow my hip to put pressure on his feet. I keep pushing him away, sit back. I did break the guard as soon as I can. One collar only, and then I'll shrink my elbows. Let's study how to pass the open guard using the bullfighter technique. Okay, let's say you're here trying to pass the open guard, and you find someone with a good guard and he managed finding space to step on your hip. Let's say he even finds a space to step on your biceps. Now let's see what to do from here, okay? Let's work on the bullfighter guard pass. We can start with the person on the bottom already pushing away. So he found a space to fight back with his legs. My goal is to place grips really low on his pants. Note that it's illegal to have your thumb inside. So as low as you can, but the thumb cannot go inside. The reason why you want to grab low is because if you grab high, you will not really control. See? Now he's again pushing my biceps. When I grab low, try to do the same. He can't. I follow. With punches, kind of punches against his leg. Gives me much better control. Same thing at the other side. I step back and I punch. I want to pin his feet down. Now if I push his feet to one side, I walk to the other and I go on my knees. That's the easiest way for you to learn how to use that technique. You can kind of lean on your partner, but keep your knees on the mats for now, just until you learn better balance. Now, you need to learn the transition from passing his legs to controlling his upper body. So, let one grip go and post it here to block the legs. Let the second grip go and chest to chest right away. Hook on the shoulder. Knees off the mats, establishing a solid side mount control. Posting, hook on the shoulder. Knees off the mats. One more time. He will find space, push me away, controlling low on the pants, locking my elbows. That's one more detail. Pinning his feet down. Now if I push his feet to one side, I will circle to the other and put my knees on the floor. That gives me balance. Now as I am releasing my grips, I'm doing two things. Pulsing in one hand to block his legs, sliding my chest higher on his upper body, aiming chest to chest, hook on the shoulder. Pulsing, hook, knees off the mats. Let's study how to escape from the front bear hug over the arms. Okay, the first step here is to avoid that the person locks your hip on his hip. Then you will be really off balance. Okay, so you have to have a quick reaction. You want to squat down and pulse your hands on his hips. Now if he tries to lock, that makes it impossible. No matter how strong he is, just because I'm not muscling at all. I'm locking my elbow on my hip, and it's the straight bone of my forearm separating his hip from my hip. So he's trying to lock, no matter how strong he is, it's not happening. From here, I'll go to the safe clinch. Continua segurando, tá? He will keep holding, so I don't have too much room. I'll take out my right hand, and he starts circling to the right direction. I still push his hip, continue pushing his hip with my left hand. And I'm fighting hard to get to his side and control his hip, which I did now. But he's still holding and squeezing, so my left arm is stuck. That's okay. From the underneath, I will control his arm. Safe clinch, my head is on his chest. He cannot throw headbutts. I'm controlling his arm. He cannot throw punches. I'm pulling his hip. No knee strikes, no kicks. From here, we go for the hip throw. Okay? So, one. First step, your toes pointing to the direction you're gonna flip him. Now you need room to bring your right leg through. So move away from him a little bit and step through. Then you place your hips. You make that catch with your hips. The opposite would be to make with my leg. By placing my hips, I should not have problems lifting him at all. Now I rotate my upper body. Move his arm up just so he breaks his fall. Okay, and after that, lean the belly to control him. It's actually my shin on his belly. Good posture, hips forward, controlling his neck, pushing his hand away, keeping my balance with my left leg. You will see very often the person on the bottom trying to push your knee away when you have it in the belly. That's when we use the spinning armbar submission. My right hand goes from the neck inside that space here and grabs his triceps. Then I pull his triceps to my chest. See how he had to turn on his side? That's when I step. Now I raise my heel and I place my knee on his ribs. The other hand now is getting ready to control his wrist. That's when I fall. Gira pra cá. And I will have the submission. Knees together, pulling his wrist down. One more time. Comes in for the bear hug, quick reaction. Push his hip away. If he pulls, no problem. He's not going further than your forearm. Do your best to get to the safe clinch and lock his arm right away. One might ask, what if he uses his left arm? I'm not controlling his left arm. The best he can do is to try a headlock. I take my head out and I should have his back. That's why the safe clinch is a good spot to be. Whatever he tries from here, I am getting into a better position than him. Hip throw, 1, 2, your hip underneath his belt level. Look over your left shoulder, rotate, pull up his arm, he'll break his fall. Knee in the belly, controlling the neck, good posture, good balance. He's trying to push my knee away. That's the opportunity I will have to take my grip out from the neck, inside, pulling the triceps. Pull his arm on your chest. As you step, go on your toes right away. Catch his wrist and go. Gira lá. Para aí. As you lay back, do your best to fall closer to his legs, rather than falling high, close to his head. The reason why I'm saying that is because on the arm locks that you bend your leg, you see my leg's not over. His upper body, it's here. If I fall too high, I might be helping him, sai pra lá de novo com o joelho, to escape. And I have to use my guard. Vira assim. I want to finish the fight from here. I don't want to give him a chance to escape. So, in the belly, controlling the neck. When he starts to push, I place my grip. I pull his arm on my chest. I step, grab the wrist, and now I fall as close to his legs as I can. Watch. Bending the leg, depending on what he's trying, extending. Most times bending, knees together. Slowly pull the wrist down. Thumb up, you should be good. Let's study how to break the guard standing up and also how to earn our safe posture. Okay? So the drill will start with my partner controlling my head so I learn how to posture up. Okay? Okay? The first step is placing my grips, sliding my knee back and following with my head to posture up. Watch. Grips, one on each collar. Moving my knee back and then following with my head underneath his arms. He will try to grab my head again. I push his chest. When I square up with him, I drive my hip forward. He should not be able to grab my head at that point. I will stand up right away once I feel that my grips are in place. One leg up, chest forward, head up. A little detail here, and very important, can post your toes. Watch my right toes. That should help me now opening my knee. And then I can step in with my feet parallel. When you get here, pull him underneath yourself and lock your elbows on your knees. Right here, I have a very good and strong stance. I can prepare for the next step. Next step is posturing up even more. So I must slide my hands on his collars, and I will keep one hand only. This elbow must be tight here, avoiding any submissions attempts. Good posture. From here, I will break the guard. Little step back, so I can reach behind my back. Okay, watch. Little step back, so I can reach. Not with my hand, but making a hook. And breaking with my forearm. Right after you break, you want to control his leg above the knee. So, these arms pushing his leg away. He cannot do much with this leg. This hand is pulling his leg close. That's a good position to prepare to pass his guard. One more time. My partner is trying to break my posture. I try to hold his collars right away if I can. I'll slide back my knee and escape my head underneath. At the same time, I push up his collars. He's trying to grab my head again. As he's trying, I posture up, hips forward, and I am controlling his chest. From here, let's stand up one leg at a time. One, toes. That really helps. Open your knee, then you step in, lock your elbows. That's very important. Two things they might try here: to grab your heels, lock their knees and push. You pull, squat down, keep your posture. He will lock the guard. Something else is when you posture a little more, release one grip. If you don't lock your elbows real tight here, they might try the triangle as you were reaching. I'm in trouble now. From that point, he could lock a tight choke. So, heads up, chest forward, the entire time. When you step back, with your head up, you break with the hook, control the leg, push the other one away, and you stop right here. Let's study how to pass the open guard using double arms under. Okay? We will start here, standing up, open guard. We are controlling one collar. We have the other hand underneath the leg. Okay, from here we will go. Okay. We are starting in open guard. We are controlling the collar. One arm is underneath the leg. Let's say now his leg is heavy here. He keeps fighting to have his feet down. Okay, I have the choice of releasing the collar, having both arms under. So now I can go either sides. Even better, I can drop on my knees. And instead of fighting his legs that were so heavy before, I'll fight his hip. No matter now how heavy his legs are, abre a perna aí, esticadona mesmo. You see, he's kicking his leg real hard down. Super heavy, but all I need is his hip. Hip on top of my legs. And I should be able to lock it here. Okay? After that point, my goal is to have one shoulder under. When I have one shoulder under, I chose which side to pass. That's when I step my right leg and drive forward. At that point, I release my grips. One arm will aim the cross collar deep with my thumb. The other one, I can control his hip if I want. Pulling up. And at the very end, pushing down. I'm driving forward, chest forward, head up. I can have my knees off the mats. The leg pops out and I push his hip down. Chest to chest, knees off the mats. Let's control his neck with one arm. With the other arm, we'll slide underneath his elbow and cup our hands. Hands together, head down. That should give us a very solid side mount control. One more time. We will be in open guard. Start controlling the collar, because that's what happens very often. You start underneath the leg. You're having trouble passing here. Let's go for a variation. Double arms under. He's not sure which side I am going. I also want to drop on my knees. So this way I can fight his hip. I have good balance here. I'm not muscling at all. I'll not wait here for too long. He might try grabbing my neck. Vem com a mão no pescoço. That's why I pull up his hip. Now watch. By sitting on my heels, my body weight helps me bringing his hip up. Don't try muscling with your arms. Always try to bring your whole body into the techniques. Sitting on my heels, watch. No problem. And now, it's also my knees that are holding his weight. I'm not muscling. He keeps fighting with his leg, but I should be able to lock my hands. That's all I need. Now, from here, to get shoulder under, move yourself closer to one leg. And then by raising your arm, you should have your shoulder under. I am standing up my right leg, so I drive forward. And at that point, I release my grips. My left thumb is going deep on the collar. My right hand is grabbing his pants, right on the middle of his hip. And I am pulling up. Pulling up, chest forward, head up. Can take my knees off the mat. The leg pops out, chest to chest. One arm underneath the neck. If you have trouble with his head, it's on your way. Learn how to do this. Underneath his neck, watch. There's always a space there. The other hand underneath the elbow. Lock your thumb. Cup your hands. Chest to chest, head down. That's a solid side mount control.